In a shock development, the teenager accused of killing 3 girls in a knife attack in Southport last July has pleaded guilty to their murders on what was due to be the first day of his trial. He'd previously denied the murders. Here's everything you need to know. 9-year-old Alice da Silva Aguiar, 6-year-old Bebe King and 7-year-old Elsie Dot Stancombe were all killed during a stabbing attack at a Taylor Swift themed dance class on 29th July last year. Axel Rudakubana has now pleaded guilty to their murders. The teenager, who was 17 at the time of the attack, has also pleaded guilty to the attempted murder of 8 other children and to the attempted murder of yoga instructor Leanne Lucas and businessman John Hayes.
One of the guys in the office said, "There's a girl outside bleeding out." I think that was words to that effect. So I was going to help. And when I opened the door, there was a girl on the floor who appeared motionless and with quite heavily blood-stained clothing, who would have been another person in need of help. But then at the other side of her, directly in front of me, is this guy with a knife which was blood-stained, and in a pretty menacing way he came towards me. We had a bit of a grapple. I mean, it wasn't close quarters combat or anything like that. And I remember trying to kick him, not realising he'd been stabbed, and ended up anyway on the floor. So, and then one of my colleagues came around the corner and he retreated out of our building. So if that had allowed other people to get out of the building, then great. And then the door shut and I never saw him again after that.
Axel Rudakubana has also admitted to producing a poison ricin and possessing an Al-Qaeda training manual. Merseyside police did not declare the attack as terror-related. But the murders last July were followed by days of protest and riots up and down the UK after misinformation online said the suspect was an asylum seeker who arrived in the UK by boat. The rioters first descended on Southport, pelting police with bottles and attacking the mosque there. The morning after, the Southport community came together to clean up the streets.
To be honest, I've never seen Southport come together like this. They just destroyed so many things. By, I think, 11 a.m. the next morning, you wouldn't have known anything had happened because everybody just came together to just sort it out. All local businesses were donating their time. The effort was just absolutely incredible.
I think there's a real resolve to be better than ever. So for me, I could sum it up in the word hope. I think there's an awful lot of hope. People have been so shocked by the horror of what happened. A stronger desire in many people to be better than we were before.
It later emerged that Rudakubana was born in Cardiff to Rwandan parents. In 2013, his family later moved to the village of Banks, just a few miles outside of Southport. Rudakubana was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. He was expelled from school over claims involving a knife and a hockey stick and moved to a specialist school. Teachers there were concerned about his behaviour and violence towards others. His guilty pleas mean there will now be no trial. He showed no emotion as he was taken down to the cells on Monday.
It is clear that this was a young man with a sickening and sustained interest in death and violence. He has shown no signs of remorse. And I am deeply grateful that today's plea has spared the families at the heart of the case the pain of having to relive their ordeal through a trial. Today, our thoughts are with all those whose lives were altered by what happened on that day. Most of all, we think of Elsie, of Bebe and of Alice, the 3 beautiful young girls whose lives were cut short.